This short video is designed as a tool for you to use to show individuals who are not awake, loved ones, friends, relatives, people who you want them to understand what you see, but they just don't seem to get it. It's their first step with this video on a journey that you've already taken, possibly. Show them this video and see how they react to it, and you'll be able to gauge and tell where they're at in their journey to become awake. I want you to remember the Gabrielle Giffords shooting in the parking lot of the Safeway. You remember the media has told us that Jared Loughner, a single gunman, opened fire, shooting Gabrielle Giffords in the head, causing a through wound of the head from a 9mm hollow-tipped round. That wound would have been pretty extensive. Now, the individual, Gabe Hernandez, is credited with saving her life. He was an aide of Gifford and happened to be there at the time, and recalls quickly reacting after the gunshots and pulling her body upright against his chest so she wouldn't choke on the blood, and he applied direct pressure with his bare hands until the EMTs got there. Now, the photograph that you might recall has Daniel alongside of a stretcher, and he's holding the hand of a person that's laying on that stretcher. The EMTs are at both ends, and they're escorting her to the emergency room or to the ambulance. I want you to look at that photograph very closely. Do you notice anything that's missing? If you've ever seen a head wound or a head trauma, you understand how much the head bleeds. There's no blood. Also, if you'll notice, under the small rag that's on her face with a little couple drops of red blood on it, you'll notice that person has short hair. Now that's besides the fact that there's no blood on Daniel, on his hands, his clothes, on EMT's gloves, stretcher, hands, clothes, anywhere except for that little rag on her face to cover her face up. That's because it's an actor underneath there, and that's because this was a drill. Now at this point, you see that you've been lied to. Everything beyond this point, when it pertains to this event, say Jared Loughner, Pima County College, all his friends, all these stories that you heard were lies. They're created to instill this image, to make your perception of reality not what it really is. You can see, without the blood, this is not consistent with anything even close to what would be considered a head trauma. If you don't believe me, go ask an EMT. Go ask a nurse. Go ask a doctor. Ask anyone who's worked in the emergency room. They'll tell you. So now that you have taken your first steps to becoming awake, every time that you hear the Gabrielle Gifford story told on the news, or you see somebody referring to it in reference to a murder, you know that they are lying. They are either lying or they are misinformed and they are clueless to the facts. You now know the facts. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Understand that once you become awake and start taking that step towards being aware, you're going to take an emotional roller coaster ride. It's going to start with anger or denial and anger, and you're going to go into shock and just in absolute awe, and then you'll go into an anger phase where you can't believe that they've done this to you for so long, that everything that you believed, every foundation that you've based your opinions, your morals, your sense of who you are on has been a lie. You'll get angry, but then you'll realize that you'll get an overwhelming feeling of happiness as you realize that this world is a much better place than they've tricked us into believing it was. And then you'll feel a surge of energy, and you want to get the word out, and you want to show this video to more and more people, and you want them to become awake. But remember, it's not for everybody, A lot of people will still have that wall put up, and they will not, even if you show them the facts, they will not accept those facts. That's because they're not ready yet. They will be, though. It just takes time.